Hey, how you guys doing out there today? This is Stefan Jimenez from the Roto Beast team, and I'm here to present you our NFL Week 5 wide receiver picks. As always, if you want to watch our full video, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel at Roto Beast. And if you want to play the actual lineups that we're playing, please visit our website at www.rotobeast.net. Alright, so we'll jump in our wide receiver picks for this week. I'm going to start off on the high end. A guy that I feel he's more of a GPP play, but I think he's a really, really good GPP play, and that's Antonio Brown for the Steelers. The guy's coming off the worst game of the season. We've seen what happened on the sidelines. I think I think he's going to bounce back from that. He's he's one of the best players in the league. I think that's just going to have him fired up this week. They're going to be at home. Big Ben is a lot better at home. So I think that he could have a big game. I really like him a lot. I think he's a great GPP player. Like I was saying, he is the highest price wide receiver. So, it could be kind of tough to get him in there. But definitely, his ceiling is higher than, pretty much anybody's that's out there. There's not really nobody that has a higher ceiling than him. So next, we'll talk about Jordy Nelson. He's just a tiny bit cheaper. He's going against the Cowboys. I think this game is going to definitely be a shootout. He's Rodgers' favorite target. We all know that. It's pretty easy to see that. He's very, very consistent. He's got at least 17 Fanduel points in all 3 games that he played in. We won't count the one game that he got hurt in just because, he was played for a couple minutes. He was out, so he didn't really even play at all. He has 5 touchdowns in pretty much 3 games. He averages 8 targets a game. If Randall Cobb is going to be out this game, or Devontae Adams, they've both been banged up. Even if just one of them is out, it's going to definitely give Nelson a chance to have even more targets. So I like him, a lot on the higher end. Next, we'll move down a little bit. We'll talk about DeAndre Hopkins. The guy's just been a target monster, plain simple. He's getting so many targets. He leads the league in targets towards him. Ever since Watson came in and started practicing, full time as a quarterback, they built a really good chemistry. His last 2 games, he's caught 17 of 20 targets for 183 yards and a touchdown. So the guy's just been very consistent. I like him right there. He's been super, super consistent. That's what we look for in wide receivers. Next, we'll talk about another guy that's been real consistent, and that's Allen for the San Diego Chargers. The guy's good. The problem with him compared to Hopkins is Allen is not really going to get you the big plays, but he's going to get you, the consistent, 7, 8 catches for 80, 90 yards. That's fine. So he's a really good cash game play this week, especially going against the Giants. I think it's going to definitely be a shootout. And he has a chance for, he had his best game of the season last game, I think, for like 130 yards. And he has a chance to do it again. And he's got double-digit targets in 3 of the last 4 games. He has a solid price. So you definitely got to like Allen from the San Diego Chargers. Next, we'll talk about Parker for the Miami Dolphins. Cutler, we know Cutler, whether he's bad or not, he likes to throw the ball. He likes to get the short passes, get people in space. And Parker's been, he's been getting his targets, definitely. He's been getting about 8 targets a game. His price actually dropped a little bit on Fanduel, and we played him last week with a little bit higher price, so there's no reason for us not to go back to the well. I think he's another solid cash game play. He's not crazy cheap, but he's not super expensive, and he's been consistent. So I do like Parker. And the last guy I'll talk about is Brown for the Arizona Cardinals. The guy's minimum price $4,500. He's just way too cheap for what he's been doing. He got 12 targets last week for 8 catches and 103 yards and a touchdown. He's averaging 10 targets in the last 3 games. For minimum price, you might as well just lock him in your cash games. He's probably going to be one of the highest owned players. So, those are my wide receivers I'm looking at. Antonio Brown, you got Jordy Nelson, DeAndre Hopkins, you got Allen from the Chargers, Parker from Miami, and then you got Brown from Arizona. So those are the wide receivers I like. I'll be back tomorrow with my tight end plays. And, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. And if you have any questions, you want to talk about any other receivers that you're liking, we could definitely feel free to discuss it. So thank you.